All right, folks, it's Saturday. We're going to be talking silver and we're going to be talking about some big investments in the Stellar ecosystem, along with XRP whales scooping it up. Let's get right on into this update, guys. Everything can be found on my website, zachrector.com. If you're looking to get in touch, tap in with our community resources. It is all available over there. We had a fantastic Discord weekly call this morning, and I have switched up the structure a little bit on the Discord weekly calls. What I'm doing is my 30-minute morning monologue to get the session started, and then I'm cutting off the recording and we continue for a off the record conversation, which gets a little bit more participation from the community, and we don't have to worry about what we're talking about. So absolute pleasure to have our Discord weekly calls every Saturday. We have additional classes and content for the way on the way as well. So if you guys are looking to get tapped in, if you're interested, once again, it's all over there at zachrector.com. Let's get straight into the update, folks. We're looking at a gold that closed off the week at $2,400 per ounce. Once again, this is a new reality for the precious metals and the beginning of a commodity super cycle. Silver finally woke up, and just look at this performance since the beginning of this year. 43, almost 44% from the lows that we were at just in January. Just in the first 4 or 5 months of this year, you're pushing 44% gains for silver. Now, this is all signaling that the war is still active, the inflation is still running hot, but the problem that we're seeing is a breakdown in oil, which is signaling that we may be heading into a recession. And so I would be careful here. I am expecting a little bit of a pullback in the commodities. They got a little hot, and one that really warmed up was finally copper. Now you can see copper broke above $5 here, and this is a level that we haven't been at since back in March of 2022. These have all been weekly charts, by the way, zoomed out a couple years to give you perspective on where we've been. And you can see that copper finally waking up, $5. And so the signal that's being sent from gold, silver, and copper in the broader commodity space is inflation is still hot. And gold is a warning that war is still here and that recession may be looming as well. The problem is during the recession, during the last bear market that we had in 2022, we saw both gold, silver, and oil, along with copper, all pulled back significantly. In fact, when you look here at the copper chart, copper actually pulled back about 37% from the highs that it hit in March of 2022 at $5, back down here 37% during 2022 before it started to build back up. And finally breaking out here once again. And once again, I think the signal that's being sent here from the industrial metals like copper and silver also being an industrial metal is not driven so much right now by investors. Investors actually, we have people in our folks, our community is picking up quite a bit of precious metals. I know that we've been able to help facilitate a lot of people in our community to get it shipped directly to their door or rolling over their 401k retirement account. Like I said, resources at my website. But the investors in large part actually have kind of toned back over the last year. And that's because inflation's hot, the struggle's real, it's getting tight. So what the main driver of this is actually industrial demand, industrial investment, right? We need this, the growing solar industry. If we want to do the Green New Deal, we got to get it. And so this is why you're seeing copper, silver both spiking off the inflationary pressures and the investment that's being made from the industrial space. Now, if investors finally wake up and say, oh crap, maybe I should pick up some of this metal. Maybe I should have some utility with no counterparty risk. Maybe I am worried that the banks aren't really, as safe as they're making it sound, right? Maybe we should make a move. When investors start to wake up once again, then we're going to see, and you're seeing countries around the world are moving in that direction because now we have a currency and a commodity war that has gone hot, kinetic war also being fought out in Ukraine. But in regards to the assets being frozen, Russia has now seized over $700 million worth of assets belonging to 3 Western banks, including UniCredit, Deutsche Bank, and Commerce Bank. The financial war has arrived, and it's picking up. It's showing no signs of slowing down. Now, what's interesting, too, is you look at this, the broader liquidity cycle and what has been done with the interest rates. We look at the historical performance of gold from the Kobesi letter. Gold has been on a historic run, but what happens once rate cuts start? Well, historically speaking, gold has seen some of its best rallies during the 24 months after the last Fed rate hike. In 2018 to 2020, the yellow metal surged by almost 50%, and in 2006 to 2008, it rallied 55%. Now, these were both rallies right before, and especially 2006 to 2008, was the blow-off top rally before the great financial crisis. 2018 to 2020 was, a period of growth before we got taken out in 2020. So are we in that moment right now where we've gotten the final rate hike? The cuts are coming. That's the expectations, at least. They, expected 6 rate cuts last year. They expected 7 rate cuts this year. They have been so fatally mistaken in that investment, and if you position yourself that way. But with that being said, we've already seen that gold has rallied 21% in 7 months since the last rate hike in July of last year. We're already up 21%, a lot of room to grow. History says that more upside is coming for gold. Switching back to silver, the largest e-commerce platform, JD.com, has the highest online sales volume of silver bars. This is from Buy Oriental Ghost on X. On May 18th, the price is 8,950 renminbi per kilogram, equivalent to 38.56 US dollars per ounce. So we had a major close for the week at $31.50 for silver, but you're seeing that the premium, the Shanghai premium, not just a few bucks, and it's at a few bucks across the board on average, but on this platform, which is the highest online sales volume for silver bars, they're at basically a $7 premium, from 31.5 to $38.5 US equivalent. So it is on like Donkey Kong, like Digital Asset Investor says, right? It is on like Donkey Kong as far as the race to acquiring the physical metals. So, folks, we've been talking about it. It's finally starting to play out. And what's, like I said in the video that I made earlier today, it's kind of bittersweet because this is a moment that we've been waiting for where our asset prices are going up while the rest of the world is going to hell in a handbasket. Excuse my language. Now, let's get into crypto, folks, because we got some big investments, but we also have some platforms that are shutting it down. What are they shutting down? Well, Kraken, one of Tether's biggest, this is from Row Rider, so I'm not going to comment further on this or add to what he's saying right here, but I'm just going to read off what he said. Kraken, one of Tether's biggest money laundering on-off ramps, may be forced to remove USDT in Europe. Why? Well, EU has now set new stablecoin regulation, and Tether has refused to abide by the EU stablecoin regulations, saying it would be impossible for them to adhere to basic standards like spreading reserves over multiple banks. Now, they introduced the bill to end the Fed this last week. I've been saying, at least if we could start with an audit of the Federal Reserve. And, speaking of audits, if we could get one for Tether, that'd be great. That'd make me feel a little bit better about holding Tether. I prefer to hold USDC if I have to hold a stable coin. And I prefer holding XRP over both of them. But, if I do need to hold a stable coin, I do prefer USDC. But once again, Tether. What's the game? And even the CEO coming out and saying basically that his business model is to work in jurisdictions outside of the Western nations, outside of Europe, outside the United States, where there's, more lax regulations and governance. Now, it's not to say that Tether's going to go away. It's not to say that Tether's the worth. It's just to say, hey, can we see what you got? Where's an audit by a legit auditing firm, not some shady Cayman Islands firm? Let's get a legit one, please. Continuing on, though, we see Tether getting squeezed, Tether getting taken away, Tether getting deplatformed. But meanwhile, who's showing up to make big investments in XRP and, in this case, the XLM Stellar ecosystem? I wasn't expecting this one, but check it out, folks. Tim Draper, big time investor, shares that Draper University is teaming up with Stellar to accelerate and fund up to 80 startups to build on Stellar over 2 years. We're calling on the best blockchain startups to apply for the Stellar Astro Hacker House. So if you're a developer and you want to go live in the Stellar Astro Hacker House, you can apply. Or the Stellar Embark Accelerator, stay tuned. Big investments into the Stellar ecosystem. And remember, Stellar just got smart contracts, so they're going to need some more developers. They're going to need some more development because now the utilities are arriving on Stellar. As we've been saying with XRP, the utilities are finally coming around. We can give the builders something other than just a hammer, which in the equivalent of XRP Ledger ecosystem, the hammer has been fast, cheap, efficient payments, which in and of itself is a utility that can solve multi-trillion-dollar problems. So that hammer is a very valuable hammer. But now we can give our builders some additional tools as well. We got the NFTs, the AMM, and in the Stellar ecosystem, they've now added smart contracts. And it's about time for me to give you guys a Stellar update. So make sure you guys have subscribed, hit that notification bell so you can catch additional content coming on the way, including a Stellar ecosystem update. In regards to updates, we're getting one here from Flare. Hugo Filion, co-founder of Flare. Yielding stablecoins are a great innovation. For F-asset agents, they mean that an agent can earn yield on both the stablecoins and the Flare that they have locked as collateral in the ecosystem. So the Flare update is that next week, I believe, they are finally going to be going live with the F-assets. Now remember, this is where we take coins, blockchains that don't have utility, and we wrap them and we bring them in and we launch them as F-assets in the Flare ecosystem, giving them functionality and utility. So we're expecting Doge is going to be an F asset. XRP is going to be an F asset. I'm sure Stellar will be as well, even though Stellar now has native smart contracts. I expect we're going to see a lot of F assets being issued in the Flare ecosystem, providing functionality and utility. This is a beautiful thing that we're starting to see develop right now, folks. XRP, XLM, Flare, the utility projects are finally going live. And they've done it the right way with rigorous testing, by breaking it, by fixing it, and then bringing it back online so that we don't crash the whole dang network. Now, to wrap it up, folks, XRP whales accumulate 540 million XRP, worth 270 million in just 5 weeks. This was posted just a couple days ago, but I wanted to round off today's session by sharing this with you guys to provide that context. Now, if you show up in maybe the Twitter spaces, if you read, my YouTube comments, you'll see every single video somebody telling me that XRP sucks, and that's fine. The fundamentals continue to get better. The adults in the room and the whales in the room are swooping it up like never before. And you got Tim Draper, big time Wall Street investor, showing up, and he's going to be funding 80 startups in the Stellar ecosystem. This is where you get to invest in the next Amazon, the next Apple, the next Google that's going to be building within these ecosystems. And so an incredible opportunity right now for us to be taking a look at private equity. As the private equity space has been squeezed out, liquidity started to, get tight over there. So incredible opportunities in the private equity. I mean, this is why Tim Draper's doing it. He's not doing it out of the goodness of his heart. He's doing it to make some money. And we can step right alongside folks like Tim Draper and others, and we can invest in the companies that are building within the Stellar ecosystem, the Flare ecosystem, the XRP Ledger ecosystem, whatever your favorite cryptocurrency, if it has any sort of ecosystem, if it's not just a meme coin and it actually brings some utility, well, then you can invest in these companies. And so right now, private equity for crypto companies like this, for commodities, we've been talking about it. Why is the opportunity so great? Well, these are companies that, compared to the rest of the equities market, are undervalued on a price to earnings basis, but then what they're producing has been undervalued and suppressed as well, i.e. the commodities like copper, gold, silver, uranium. So it's a 1-2 punch on that investment thesis, along with a historical shortages that we're seeing while demand ramps up. And when it does come time to do some more money printing, stimulus, and inflation, well, you know the rest of the story. If you guys appreciate our updates, please help me out by liking this video, dropping a comment down below. Let me know what you think about silver closing off the week above $31 per ounce, gold above $2,400 per ounce. Let me know what you think about the XRP whales picking up. Meanwhile, price stays flat, price continues to build. It has tremendous support, and this is why, guys, that you're not seeing XRP dump. If XRP was like the rest of these cryptos, it would be the same chart where it made one big move or maybe two big moves. It got the 2017, 2018 bull run. It would have got the last bull run, and then it would just be down from there. But that's not the case. We did get cleaned out. We did get liquidated, but we've been steadily building while the fundamentals continue to stack on. And so, folks, we're about to hit that moment where this thing gets set free. You're already seeing it for gold, already seeing it for silver, copper as well. An incredible opportunity as we see this crypto bull run is not over. The whales know it, and that's why they're scooping up. So if you're looking to pick up as well, we got community resources. We can help you out. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend, and we will see you in the next one. Please help me by sharing out the message far and wide. God bless you all. I am your host, Zach Rector. I really appreciate all of the love and support. If you want to support the channel, just remember that you can start by smashing that thumbs up for me, sharing this content far and wide, and everything else is at my website.